Well, welcome everyone. This is Granny Tino, and I'm bringing you the Granny Tino Old People News. And the reason that I'm doing this is because the world has just gone out of its ever loving mind. And I feel that there has to be someone here who really can hold it all together. So basically, that's my job. Okay. Oh, we're fixing our makeup here. The makeup person took off early and I'm left with what I have to work with. Okay, now I have a very important report, and this is our first. We have two great reports today for Old People News because we do tell you like it is. So today, I'm talking about the neighborhood sleepwalkers, and I'm sure that all of you know who they are and who you are actually. Now, I'm talking simply about the benefits of walking with your dog through the neighborhood. I think that we all know what a good thing that is because, they're your pets. Now, you heard me right. If you have a dog, and I am assuming that you love your dog and know the benefits of fresh air and exercise for both of you, not just the dog, you too. Several times over the past few weeks, I noticed people walking their dogs as I was driving by, holding the leash with one hand and either talking on their cell phone or scrolling with the other. Now, this is wrong on so many levels. Okay. Now, first of all, you're not paying attention to what you're doing. And worse than that, you're not paying attention to what your dog is doing. That's kind of neglectful. Now, I have seen people not look up from their cell phone while scrolling on their phones. And fortunately, most of the dogs are now smarter than their human pets. And they stop altering their brain damaged owners to stop in return. Why do you people walking your dogs and not paying attention to what you're doing always give drivers who are going past you a dirty look um, because you've not looked up until that point? And that's what I want to know. So you're walking and scrolling and you're not looking where you're going, and I'm driving and you're not crossing the street, you're just kind of very slowly scrolling, so I go across the street. Now, you always give us dirty looks when we go by, and you're the ones that are going off the curb without watching where you're going. Does that make sense to you in your brain? Just let me know. Email me. Hmm. Now, it might be just a suggestion. This might help you. Why don't you consider, before stepping off the curb, looking up and checking the street both ways? When I was a mom and had young children, I taught that to my sons. And obviously, your parents didn't give you that lesson. But that's something you might want to stick in your bucket of what to do to get across the street safely with you and your dog. Do you really think that it's a good idea to put that much stress on your pet? Now, since most of you consider your dogs to be an extension of your children, do you ignore your children the same way you do your dogs? Is that really interacting with the dog or the child that you're with to be on your cell phone and ooh, in Nana land? Now, the bottom line is people, and let me get to the bottom line for the love of God, is that you need to put your phone in your pocket, do some deep breathing, and walk like you were getting to your next roast beef sandwich. Get some oxygen going on in your body. And I think your dog will thank you for that too. And most of you do look like you could stand a little exercise. Let's be honest here. The world is not getting thinner, and neither are you. So, really, move it the right way and pay attention so you can work off some of those poundage. Now, that's all I have to say about my message to sleepwalkers. So take it as some good advice. It might save your life, save your dog's life, and make you thinner and healthier. Let me get to my next report. Now, this report, which is the second and final one, is very important because there's been an overload of this on all the social media platforms and even with some people in the neighborhood. Now, this is long overdue. This is about sex gender identification. Now, no worries. Again, Granny Tino is here to help you. That's my job. I have lifetime experience, and what I can do is to help you. And, just so, I keep myself nice and cool in the studio so we can do this. Now, it has come to my attention that mainly there are some people that we'll call the millennials, and they don't seem to understand what gender they are. So let me send you this news flash. It's not a hot flash, but you really wouldn't know that because you're not of the hot flash age yet, but you think you are. Okay, so if you have, this is to clear it up. If you're confused, if you have a penis, guess what? You're a male. If you have a vagina, you're a female. That makes you a woman. And then and only then, when you have a vagina, you can actually have children. But that's the pre-qualifier. So just so you know. Now, you can call yourself whatever makes you happy, darlings, but if you do not have a name that I can call you, I will not address you by name. I will just look at you when I'm talking, and hopefully you can pick up on the conversation. Now, the world of political correctness is a brainwashing technique to help remove free speech. And that just doesn't work for me because I'm from the generation where you just told the truth and said what you had to say. And it wasn't necessarily mean. And if someone perceives it, oh, someone perceived it to be mean, fixing my makeup here, they would just let you know. They'd say, hey, yo, don't say that. Or you'd have a little fist fight, and then it would be, okay, so you knew where you stood with your friend, but you didn't take your problems out on the whole world. So what I'd like to say too is parents, stop telling your children, and pay attention to this, stop telling your children that they can decide what sex they are. Because if you're not sure, if you're confused, believe me, those little buggers are going to be confused. What you need to do as a family is gather around and get their birth certificates. I think that might help you. If all of you look on it's a piece of paper and it's a birth certificate and you got it when they were born. So if you look on it, it will tell you and your children if they're males or females. Because for cases of identification, that's the way it has to be. And there's two things you can be. You can be a female or a male. You can feel anything you want, but those are how you are identified in the real world. Okay, so the last straw to this wrongness became present with the issue of lately there's been news about parents allowing their children to go to transgender gay bars for entertainment purposes, and they are it's placing your children into a freak show environment. I mean, you don't take them down where people are selling drugs in the streets and fighting. Why would you take your children to a bar anyway? There's alcohol there. Do you want your children to grow up to be alcoholics? Do you want your children to see these people that don't know who they are dancing half naked in front of your impressionable children? What is wrong with you? So it's the adult's responsibility to keep children safe. Now, people dancing provocatively in front of them, I don't know if you understand what that really is called, but let me clue you in on that too. That's child abuse. You don't have that going on. First, you got people drinking, people prancing around in garter belts and confusing kids. You don't do this. It's not normal and it's not healthy. What you do as an adult is okay for you, but you don't bring kids into that. That's just wrong. It's not excuses, okay? So, because let's put it this way, having sex between a man and a woman, heterosexuals, people whose parts fit the way we were born to procreate, and it is an act of love, and that's it, for procreation. It's what normal people do when they want to get together and have kids. But That doesn't mean that mom and dad should put a stage up with front row seats and a spotlight in their bedroom and have their children sit there watching them while they go at it like rabbits. You know why? It's not appropriate. Even though it's perfectly healthy and normal for the parents, it's not correct to do with children there. That would be called child abuse. So, can you kind of understand that? Um, but doing poopy is normal too, but you just don't pull your pants down and do it in the classroom or church or on the street. You do it in this little room called a bathroom. Okay. So that's what's important. So people stop listening to propaganda that's fed to the millennials because in turn they repeat it over and over, but that doesn't make it true. You know, that doesn't make it true. And you'll know the millennials because they're the ones spending their youth walking around in Coldplay costumes all year, looking like they're interplanetary freak shows as they live with their parents and get upset if they are males and want to be called women. Now, all this does is add to the confusion pattern, and enough is enough. Paid our dues. And stop telling us what to call those of you walking around who don't know who you are or what you are. Relax. Enjoy your lives at the new forever Halloween zombie unisex drag queen dressing lifestyles. And just show people who like us living as of the sex they were born with, and men not choosing to dress up like their mothers and pretend they can give birth to babies, and where women flatten their chests and wear their brothers underwear, jeans and t-shirts. Just leave us alone because we're entitled to live too. And so just I have one thing to say: stop it. See you next time.